more than the idea, I look at the team, the execution strategy, and how big are they actually thinking about this idea. Because everybody has ideas, every idea is great, but it is always the market or the execution that actually becomes meaningful at a later point.
We had Prabhu on the pod today. Prabhu is the co-founder of M2P. M2P builds a stronger infrastructure for the financial world. They are backed by one of the best investors globally, the likes of BeeNext, Insight Partners, Tiger Global, to name a few. In this episode, we covered areas like what drove him into angel investing, what was his first angel investment, his investing process and biggest learnings from the angel investments, the people Madhu seeks inspiration from, his role in nurturing the tech ecosystem in Tamil Nadu, and collaboration with Tamil Nadu government. Who is he outside of work? What's his relationship with money? And much more. Let's dive in. All right. I am super excited to have Prabhu on the 1947 Operators podcast. Prabhu, welcome to the show.
Hey, hi Shiva. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here. Very excited.
Likewise. And Prabhu, a good starting point would be let's start by what drove you into angel investing and what was your first angel investment?
Okay, so honestly speaking, what drove me into angel investing is largely to do with the mindset of a founder. When we just to give you context, at M2P we were bootstrapped for like almost 6 years. We started up in 2014, late 2014, and then we raised our first round of funding only in the month of Jan 2020. So it was almost like 5.5 years. We had run the company largely bootstrapped, probably money from friends and family. That's all, right? So the key, the key around raising funds and why we had to raise and who we raised from. We largely raised from a clutch of angel investors instead of going for large VCs, right? We had a lot of VC interest, a lot of investors would come talk to us and all that, but we never understood really uh, why didn't we raise funds from large investors. Not that we were approaching them and we were kind of rejected, but just that we just had to kind of understand what did not go well for us. Why didn't any of the large VCs come and write a check for us, or force us to kind of take a check. If you I mean, like, when you go and think about that deeply, I think there were certain things that we were doing very well but not communicating well to the outside world. And there were so many things that the outside world had drawn a perception around our business, which we were not trying to correct because we thought it's none of our job. But all these things kind of add up to, building a perception around the business, right? Which we got to learn at a later point after we were successful in fundraising and stuff like that. So one reason why I thought I should actually start helping founders at very, very early stages is mainly because it's not that it's wrong to run a company in a bootstrap manner. I think both models are. I think I would say it has the both has its own pros and cons. But the problem is that if a founder wants to kind of raise funds, if you can help the founder in at least kind of telling them what went wrong, what are the areas that you had committed mistakes around, at least they would avoid those mistakes. Whether you are able to help them or not, at least help them with the mistakes and the knowledge that you're kind of gathered, the learning that you have around the mistakes. I think that was one key driver. The second part is, of course, listening to new stories, listening to new ideas. Those are basically, I would say, vitamin tablets for us, right? Like a vitamin shot for us. It was exciting to kind of, meet new founders with all the energy. You do this, right? Like, you work in a job or you play a sport, and then you suddenly find a new breed of people just fresh out of college or fresh out of a school, and coming and trying to smack around the park. That energy is kind of contagious, right? Like, it is very,
Yeah.
very exciting, whether you are able to emulate the same kind of energy or not, but you just get positively affected by that. So that was another reason. I would say it is more of a selfish reason, but I thought, if I'm able to kind of talk to founders or share ideas with founders or pick each other's brains, it's good for both of us. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Got it. And Do you remember your first investment, your first angel investment?
I think I do. I think it was Zimio, which is a HR tech startup. Again, I co-invested with Madhu. But yeah, I just got to kind of hear about the pitch and understand from Madhu his perspectives, how he thought about it, and all that. But yeah, I mean, it took us no time because we had known the founder for a while, and yeah, I mean, it was just automatic choice.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear this all the time, and I think it's pretty natural where operator investors, they do invest in other founders and operators because one, they get energy out of it. Second, they get to learn so much, meaning what are the new technologies, new business models, and thirdly, they get better as well along the way because again,
Absolutely.
it's learning, it's cross functional learnings. And Prabhu, what's your investing process like? Meaning, how do you source deals? How do you evaluate founders and companies? Meaning, what triggers you to invest? Uh, and what kind of check sizes do you write?
Okay, so I think I'll answer the second one first. My check sizes vary all the way from $10,000 till about 70, $80,000, or in INR terms, anywhere between 7 or 8 lakhs to all the way till about 50 lakhs. But I have a feeling that most of the founders, when they raise funds, if they are having the right intentions, they wouldn't want a big check to be written on them. Rather, they would want the fellow founders to kind of back their idea. Right? It is more of a validation that somebody of the same breed is having trust in this idea. So he or she is kind of cutting a check for that. So that's the concept around which most of the founder investors are kind of operating. And in fact, with all the investments that I've made, I think all the founders share almost the same kind of mindset that, hey, Prabhu, it's absolutely, the check size doesn't matter at all. Are you kind of interested? Is Madhu interested, or is your co-founders interested in the idea? And are we doing the right thing? So that's largely why they kind of approach us for. And then on the first part around what is our thesis around investment, I think the process starts like this. It comes through a referral, or the founder reaches out to us on LinkedIn or some other connect. But what we ideally do is, like, we don't kind of. I'm very very mindful of the founder's time. I'll check with them if they have actually presented the idea already to any other angel investor who I'm already connected to. If yes, if that is the case, then I'll rather ask them to give a very very short kind of an intro about them, and kind of understand, just cut ties and understand what they're what they have built, and what is there on offer, right? And then what I do is, like, I kind of tell them, I kind of communicate to them that, hey, since this person is investing, I'll just have a word with them, and then I'll come back to you, right? And then I do that. I just not like a more like a ref check. I'll just kind of take a download from what the other person is thinking. If indeed they are kind of committed, I'll rather save that time for the founder to kind of go to an actual investor and spend those minutes pitching or presenting. And I will kind of ride on the wisdom of the other person who has already kind of built that conviction, right? And what are the reasons, and if those reasons matches with my kind of thesis, I think I generally go with it. uh, and in certain places where I am the first one who is kind of listening the story and all, I kind of share it to a couple of other angel investors or buddies who also kind of invest along with me, and then the same process continues, right? The founder need not actually come to go to each of these angel investors and present their story again. So this is how I generally go with it. More than the idea, I look at the team, the execution strategy, and how big are they actually thinking about this idea. Because everybody has ideas, every idea is great, but it is always the market or the execution that actually becomes meaningful at a later point.
Got it. And Madhu, what are the traits of a mediocre founder or talent when you're evaluating somebody?
So, mediocrity, crops up in many places, right? One, If they are only thinking about idea and they think that the moment they convert this idea into a product, many people think it can become a great company. A good product need not be a great company. There are so many products of Microsoft which we have which are great ideas which we have thrown it out of the window, right? Not many of us use it. Same applies with Google, same applies with Facebook or any large big tech firm, right? Even big techs do err around the area around, uh, from ideation stage to product and to actually hit market, they kind of goof it up, right? So that mediocrity is very very clearly shown when they don't have that a go to market strategy or the execution strategy. And if a founder does not have a plan B, plan C for any given motion, whether it is go to market or marketing or scale up, because every product goes through these three stages. It cannot miss these three stages. One is the build stage, then is the actual commercialized stage where you actually make it meaningful for the market, and then the scale stage. Scale stage is when it becomes a real company and then investors start backing it, and there is no looking back from there on, right? If the founder does not have this idea as to how to ramp it up, I think that is mediocrity. Because uh, I'm not saying every founder should understand all these things from the word go, but if they don't have the inclination to kind of understand how or what it takes to kind of take my idea from this stage to a real company, then there is a problem. So that's exactly what I would like to always assess.
Got it. And Madhu, now you've been investing for the last 2.5, 3 years. What have been the biggest learning, or let me put it this way, what's something that you know now you wish you had known when you first started investing?
Okay, in fact, I'll rather go back to when we first started fundraising. What is so important is that we all think investors are people who come and they love your story and they're going to back you like crazy and all that, right? Some do, many don't. Um, but the common part is that investors are basically traders, right? They trade something called as the commodity that is nothing but a private equity of a company, right? So they would kind of take the idea, understand the idea, absorb it, see if they can build that internal conviction, and then they buy your company shares at an X price and basically want to make it 5x, 10x, 50x based on their appetite, right? That's what they do. So they are basically traders, which I did not have that idea around VC investing or angel investing in the first place. Okay, so you know that clears a lot of things, right? You
Yeah.
basically the perspective around how you look at an idea or how you meet a founder as an investor or how the founder reacts and you react completely changes when you have this clarity. I
Yes.
certainly did not have this clarity 3 4 years ago, right? And then when I had this clarity, I kind of it is easier for me to kind of tell the founders that, hey, see, I cannot actually come back and keep investing in you at Series A, Series B, or late stages, right? This is my check size. This is all I can do. So if this is all I can do, these are the things that I can actually bring to the table, and these are the areas where I really can't focus. So and I'm also building my business. It's not like my business is like so mature. We are still a startup. We are still just getting started. So I make this very clear. So this kind of sets a very very clear context. What you see is what you get, basically, right? So yeah, this has helped a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
this model has been helping me a lot. And in cases where I have to say a no, I'll rather say I'll not generally take this roundabout path of saying, hey, I like the idea, but I would want to wait and watch. I don't tell that. I just simply say, boss, this is the reason that I don't think I can build conviction now. And if you are able to attend this and come back at a later point, I think I'll be able to, if I'm convinced that with the updated numbers or updated metrics or stuff, I think I'll be able to kind of help you. If not, I think there are other investors who may build conviction. I'll just intro, but I'll generally not waste time and say I'll wait and watch. I'll come back in a couple of weeks and all that.
Yeah. And you're obsessed with the value of time, whether it's your own time and or the other person's time, and you value it because you value your own time first.
Absolutely, absolutely. I
And
mean, in India, right? You had been an operator around the world, right? Like you had been in other countries as well. Uh, the key differentiator is that in India, the value for time or the value for convenience is not so profound, right? People just think 5 minutes late to a meeting is absolutely okay, right? But that's completely different overseas.
Absolutely. And Prabhu, I've heard from few folks and would love for you to give us a sense on you guys have an initiative running in Tamil Nadu, which you're supporting the founders coming out of Tamil Nadu. Would love for you to expand on that.
Sure. There are actually two, three different steps that we have taken around that. I would say I'll first start with the external kind of steps that we are kind of helping. One is a startup called Tamilpreneur. Tamilpreneur is basically a community for entrepreneurs who are, Tamil speaking entrepreneurs, basically, right? So that, I mean, like, they cut across all the industries. It's not just tech startups that they are backing. They want to become the YC for Tamil Nadu. That's their, I'd say, their goal, near possible goal, right? So what we are doing is, like, initially when the community was just two very very active, enthusiastic fellows from Zoho, right? So when Siddharth and Praveen, so they were kind of, they had all this, dream and all that, but they really did not have the means to kind of, make it work. So what we did was, like, we kind of partnered with them. I mean, partner in the sense, like I said, I'll support you if you want any posts or any, like, support from my end to kind of help this. We are very happy to do it. And I was myself, like, very very interested. So I'm a strong believer in community based product building, or community, anything that is community based will go a long way. Like YC is, like, what it means to the world right now.
Yeah.
YC started as a small community, basically, right? And then Angel List, and there are
Yeah.
so many stories around community based approaches that have really gone big, right? So we started a community called Tether. That was the second part that I was coming to. And we said Tether is nothing but, Tether is, like, basically tag together, right? So we said we are actually building it. You guys can actually be the beneficiary of it. You can start using our office space. No outcomes expected. We'll get the founders use our office space if at all required. We can get you introductions to VCs or angel investors. And they also wanted to do events, for which we gave our office space. We gave our, I mean, I kind of spent some time with them and all that. So this is on the Tamilpreneur part. And then I also touched upon the Tether part. Tether, we have started with fintech as the first use case to solve for. Uh, it's a fintech community for now, but we will expand it into more into insurtech and other technology kind of areas. But for now, it is a fintech community. I think there are over 5,000 members in the community right now, and it keeps expanding day by day. And we are also inviting other founders and industry professionals to come and do some fireside chats and talk about various topics and all that. Right, that's what is going on. Uh, the third part is around our work with the government and the universities. So what we are doing is, like, we went to this government cell. In fact, they had invited us. The Tamil Nadu government is having a couple of initiatives. One is the startup ecosystem initiative of the chief minister. The second part is the guidance Tamil Nadu initiative. Guidance is the industry, I would say, the body that industry body that kind of takes care of trade in the state, right? So they invite startups, they invite SMEs, MSMEs to be formed, and they give that support ecosystem, right? So we went and kind of gave them. We signed an MOU, and we have given a lot of freemium stuff and free stuff for startups in Tamil Nadu which want to kind of use that. Basically, our products, our services, and our time or facilities. Plus, we also went back and told them that, if you want the mentality to change, if you want people to start, remove the taboo around starting up, remove all the fear around starting up, you'll have to actually inculcate that knowledge at a very very grassroots level, right? So we went back to them and told them, boss, you have to have, let's say, for instance, we are fintech, aficionados, right? So
Yeah.
why don't we actually give you a story around fintech which you can actually form as a curriculum? And they obliged. We were surprised. We were pleasantly surprised. They invited us to the Anna University campus, there was a curriculum forming committee, and we were one of them. And we had kind of presented fintech as a curriculum. So you wouldn't be surprised, in a year or two, you will have BE in fintech,
Mm-hmm.
or engineering in fintech, or a PG diploma in fintech as a
Mm-hmm.
course, which is available, which is not available in many universities in India.
Mm-hmm.
So we think, uh, helping entrepreneurs at a grassroots level. When you're a student, if you're aware that this is a domain which I can actually venture into, and I don't need to kind of go get a job or get campus placed, I can also look at entrepreneurship as an option, and my parents will be okay with it. Today Indian parents are not like that, right? They are super pleased. They just go on a celebrating spree if their son or daughter is placed, campus placed in the third or fourth semester. But the moment the dude says, I'm going to start up around the area or domain in which I'm studying in, they are like
Mm-hmm.
super worried, right? That has to go. Only when that changes, I think we will have fundamental changes in the startup ecosystem. So
Yeah.
we are kind of doing a very, very small, I would say, ant level thing to the society. Yeah.
No, love it. I think you're hitting right at the core, which is the culture, and culture shapes people, it shapes countries, and what you just said is like super interesting. You're embedding the fintech subject in the curriculum, very interesting, and then it clearly shows you guys are working towards that. The theme that you and Madhu have, which is fintech factory of the world, and that's what India
Yeah.
should be. And you're really nurturing the ecosystem. I didn't know about all these things. I had only heard a bit about it. So Prabhu, you of course, you've been investing for some time, and what advice would you give upcoming, who's an operator? He probably have decent deal flow because again, founders want to raise capital from other founders and operators. How can they go about it? Meaning, how to get started at angel investing?
So I think even when it comes to being an operator, we strongly believe that market is the only truth, right? You can have you can strategize around whatever you want. You can put all your IIM and IIT kind of might into product building and everything, but unless the product makes a cut in the market, it means nothing, right? The same applies to angel investing also. You can actually, even when it comes to lending or angel investing, it is all, you're basically underwriting somebody or something, right? Like some company. So what I would say, it's not like I'm not that experienced to say as an advice, but my learning is that uh, we should actually try. We should see what are the different methods. See if you can diversify. Don't just focus on, if I am a fintech founder, doesn't mean I have to invest only in fintech because I
Mm-hmm.
only know about that subject. Like it's a, as you said earlier, it's a matter of learning. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
give and take at the same time, right? You kind of give some of your thoughts and your suggestions, and you take a lot of things from the founder in terms of learning about that domain and stuff, and then you kind of get to drill more into it, and see if you can read some books about that domain and stuff like that. So I would say, please experiment. Even if it is a 5 lakh rupee check, it means something
Mm-hmm.
for some founder.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a position to kind of part that money, forget it for at least 5 6 years, right? And the guy is trustworthy, you should do it. Because as I said earlier, the taboo that the parents have, similar taboos are attached to businesses also. If somebody says, in any of our family or extended family, if somebody says they're going to start up a business and they're going to approach you for like funding or stuff like that, people just get super shocked, right? They are always like afraid of, hey, this guy is going to put me in a tough spot, right? That
Mm-hmm.
has to change. I think if you're in a position to kind of share and kind of what do you call help others, we should
Mm-hmm.
try put in our honest efforts in doing that. So that will be
Mm-hmm.
my, and don't just focus on one area which you are very, very comfortable with. Always see if you can learn around on the job in angel investing as well, and see if you can have a diverse portfolio, because there are certain things, certain areas which are kind of recession proof, like say for instance agriculture, or anything around food. Definitely, like food is like kind of almost recession proof.
Yeah.
Anything around, but entertainment is like super choosy, right? Anything around entertainment means when the markets go down south, people wouldn't want to actually go and spend money on entertainment, right? So you always choose your priorities, and then there are also certain things that you would want to do as a founder. You can only do a few things out of your bucket list. There are certain things that you can realize using angel investing. If you, let's say, I love rockets, I love space science, but I've not done well enough for myself in my schooling. I didn't have enough marks in math. I could
Hmm.
actually go and study aeronautical engineering or anything, right?
Yeah.
So now that I've missed the bus and I'm too aged for me to go back to basics, I'm just realizing my dream by supporting startups or supporting funds that are into deep tech
Hmm.
investments and stuff like that, right? That's how you can. And when I get to meet those founders, understand their perceptions around how things work and all that, you would have even seen startups like Agnikul,
Hmm.
which their launch was launched by our honorable PM and all. It's
Hmm.
so heartwarming, and it's like you feel some sort of as if some part of yours is there, right? Like so, it's like it's a super feeling that can only be kind of felt, can't
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
expressed.
Yeah.
So for that kick and for that kind of satisfaction, you should actually try. And many people are kind of always too choosy about not committing much, mainly because they are afraid they'll lose the money. I would say yes. Or imagine that you have lost that entire piece of money. Whatever comes
Hmm.
out of it is like bonus. The learning is for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's mostly again like helping others, and the learnings is the the core of it. And so, Prabhu, we'll switch gears here. The final piece is taken over by my co-pilot in the back. His name is Alfonso, and his first question is, Prabhu, who is that one entrepreneur or it's a founder that you admire the most, and why? And that should be somebody you don't work with, you would like to work with.
Sure. So if it were, I mean, if it had been somebody who worked with, I would have definitely said Madhu as the first choice. Right? That's my that's right out of the bat. But yeah, there are actually I would say there are several. I can say Amrish was the first angel investor for us who actually wrote a check for us. Along with Amrish, there was Jiten, Kunal Shah. All of these guys have actually done really well for themselves and to the economy and to many. They've changed several lives, right? These are folks, at least in India, if you ask me, these are the folks. I wouldn't want to pick one of them. I think I will say all of these guys have actually done really well.
Mhm.
And overall, as a I would say as an inventor or as a tech head or a nerd, I would say Elon Musk. This
Yeah.
guy is like, I would say, I mean, there are he invites kind of like what you call really contrasting emotions and judgments. But I would say the dude has said things that were kind of unbelievable 10-15 years ago, and everybody were laughing at him. And he is
Hmm.
now he just simply executed and said, hey, the world will come my way. And right, what Tesla has done, what SpaceX has done, simply every other company has just dropped what they were doing, what they were strategizing, and simply followed what in Tesla's footsteps or SpaceX footsteps, right? So he simply made the world, people who were keeping him as laughing stock, he simply said, hey, one fine day I'll become the richest man in the world. Simple, right? So that is super inspiring kind of conviction around what you think. And he never
Yeah.
say he never says or takes no for an answer. That is
Yeah.
again another trait. And our prime minister, he kind of inspires as a leader, mainly because for the kind of travel he does.
Mhm.
It's not like I'm apolitical. I don't choose sides or anything. But honestly, a, a, a person with about 70 years of age doing so much of travel, up for almost 20 hours a day in and day out for like 10 years now almost. It's like super hard. So I draw a lot of inspiration from him as well.
Yeah, no, it's insane. I mean, the guy is 70-year old, and I don't know what kind of diet he's on.
He's,
But I feel like his diet is his energy. The energy is
yeah,
getting out of it. Whatever he's doing, the energy that's giving him is just,
and yoga, yeah.
yeah, yeah, but insane. And Prabhu, how much of your success would you attribute to luck, and why?
I'd say luck definitely plays a part in each. At M2P, we have had, I would say, countless number of times where we have had a near death situation, and every time God has been kind. Luck has been like on our side. We have somehow survived. Probably not like gloriously. We just scraped through, but yeah, I mean, we are still alive. We are not dead, which in itself is like super good luck, because if you see the overall ratio, at least 98 out of 100 startups fail, right? In India, at least. So definitely luck has been playing, I would say, a big part, not if not a big part, at least some part of our journey. And but I honestly don't uh, keep things, you know, or keep certain decisions away just because luck will favor at some point. That I don't do. As I said, going back to my principles, I think the simple principle is to keep the controllables, or your cards that you can actually kind of part closer to your chest, and make sure your decisions are kind of rational. But yeah, there are certain things really are above us.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. And Prabhu, what's your relationship with money?
I think, yeah, money is actually, I would say, it plays two different roles in my life. One is that uh, I've never had obsession over money. Even when I used to earn, my appraisal meetings used to be very, very simple. I have never spoken about my paycheck or never spoken about my CTC, never. Right? I would have probably I was in a job for about 10, 12 years before I quit and started up. Money used to, I felt like if you do a good job, money will automatically follow. And that's exactly what happened. And now, as an operator, I think being very, very prudent about what money do you need for a certain activity is very important. Uh, Always people talk about that windfall and all that, but people don't realize when you have to be kind of very, very clear and prudent about how you spend money, that's where they go wrong, right? How much do you need to spend is what most people kind of commit a mistake in. So that played a big part when we have bootstrap. So money used to be one of the key decisions on all our decisions. Do you want to market? Do you want to do social media marketing? Do you want to do this, do that, attend an event? All these things, money played a big part. So I would never say money is not a big part of my life. I would say money used to be definitely a big decision making part in every decision that you make as a founder. And if you take those decisions right, if those are high quality decisions over a period of time, if you are able to take prudent decisions, you will have tons of money coming your way for sure, right? That's exactly what happened. I'm not saying we have really made it really big or anything like that. We still have a long way to go. But what I can be very, very sure of is that if we continue taking these decisions in this manner, I'm sure big sums of money is not too far away, right? That's one. Second part is in sharing money. That is so important. I'm not sure whether you're aware, at M2P, every employee owns ESOP. It's not like you qualify, you perform, and then you get to kind of take stock of the company. We thought it is super important. We have, I think, diluted almost 10% of our stake to create that ESOP pool. And as soon as we started fundraising, we have allocated that for all the people who have helped us get here. And the satisfaction around creating wealth for others, the I told you, right, we raised a round of friends and family very, very early in our days, right? Who we had kind of taken money from, those are our buddies who just gave money just because it is for Madhu or Muthu or Prabhu, not for the company, not for the idea, nothing else, right? We return that favor with a 100x return almost. Okay, whoever had put in 10 lakhs, we had given them 10 crores and stuff like that. It really gives you such a like great satisfaction when you create that money for somebody else. So I think the real happiness is not earning money, it is by sharing and making others generate that money, which gives you super, super high in terms of your outlook around money. And then you start feeling like, oh, okay, yes, this is just a byproduct of whatever good deeds that I did.
Love it, love it. The
I know
real
it's a long and
happiness.
winding answer, but yeah, this I just thought aloud around what I think about money.
Yeah, yeah, no, I loved it, man. It's the real happiness doesn't come from earning, but it comes from sharing.
Absolutely.
And Prabhu, who are you outside of work? What do your friends know you for?
Well, I would at least say not many really know that I run such a an organization or a startup or stuff like that. Maybe off late I've been covered in the news or in social media and stuff like that. People get to know, but I am still the boy next door. I don't I really don't know how to kind of handle when people kind of appreciate you seriously. I honestly haven't had how to kind of react to a situation where somebody is so proud of me. I don't know, again it's back to the upbringing part, but yeah, I mean I'm very kind of I would say talkative. I can't keep quiet. I just kind of love company,
Hmm.
love hanging around with friends or family. So that is what I am, and naturally a fun lover, and see if I can do that tiny little extra to kind of make somebody smile. That's all that drives me. But yeah, I mean, off late the perceptions are changing, and I kind of hate that, mainly because they think. They kind of distance from you. Even my close friends used to once upon a time when they used to just call me just to kind of irritate me and all that, they stopped doing that. They kind of don't call me that often. They text me, should I, can I call you, and all that. This is something that I don't really am what do you call, I'm not yet
Appreciate
in
it.
sync with such reality. But yeah, I think times
Yeah.
change.
Love it, Prabhu. Love it. I had so much fun, man. Thanks a lot for doing it, for coming on the podcast and just walking us through this journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shiva, loved it.